In this video, I want to share with you the exact framework that we use to help identify our perfect real estate client so we can start attracting them. Hey guys, if you haven't met me yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder over at Square One Group. Really, our mission is to help you identify your expertise and then help you scale your real estate business using systems. That said, we got nothing to sell you. We make these videos because we want to try to help you bring in some new business. So if and when you do decide to scale, you keep us in mind because we would love to work with you. All right, today I want to jam on with you about attracting your perfect future client. Most importantly, what I'm talking about is how you exactly get them to come to you. Now, I bring this up simply because we as real estate agents, we're typically seen as a commodity. And if you don't really understand what I'm saying, let me give you a quick example. Let's say that the average consumer wants to buy a head of lettuce. And let's imagine that there are two markets right next to each other. Now, this consumer, they typically go to market one and they buy this lettuce, but evidently this one day they see an ad for some cheaper lettuce at the place right next door. It's the exact same lettuce, but maybe it looks a little better. Maybe they use a buzzword like organic, but it is definitely cheaper. Well, the person, they are more likely to just take a few steps and walk next door and buy the cheaper lettuce. Well, my friends in real estate, I hate to say it, but many of us are a piece of lettuce. We are a commodity. Look, the average consumer, they think that we're a dime a dozen. But more importantly, when we're seen as a commodity, the agent that wins is typically the agent that's closest to the bottom, because at the end of the day, it's really just a race to the bottom. And the reasoning behind this is very, very simple. When we're trying to be everything to everyone, we spread ourselves too thin. And in turn, it makes us harder to stand out in a crowded marketplace and to build a strong reputation. So then the question that we really need to be trying to answer here is, how can we go from being and seen as a commodity to being differentiated or unique? And that's simply because when we're being differentiated or unique, it typically commands a premium for our services. And more importantly, it starts attracting people to want to work with us instead of us having to chase potential leads and prospects down. Okay, now the way we're gonna do this, it's gonna be super simple. It's gonna be a word that you probably heard before. It's called to specialize. Look, real estate, it is a broad industry, and there are a ton of problems that require solving within that industry. So if we specialize in solving a very specific problem or area, or even better, both, then this allows us to become an expert and in turn allows us to serve the needs of a very, very specific group of clients. And one of the underlying benefits of specialization is that it allows us to better understand the needs and wants and preferences of the ideal client. In turn, allows us to serve the needs of a very specific, unique group of clients. And one underlying benefit of being able to do this is that it allows us to better understand the needs and the preferences of our ideal clients so that we can speak more harmoniously about their problems, their fears, their frustrations, their aspirations, and of course, their goals. And by doing this, this actually gives us a very unique set of skills, a competitive advantage to really be able to meet the unique requirements or needs of our ideal clients more effectively. So let's take, for example, someone out there that's maybe dealing with probate, or maybe they're under duress or distress, I should say, in their home. Well, the person in either of these examples is more likely going to want to work with the agent that has some experience in either one of these two problems versus just an average Joe Schmo generalist agent. By the way, valuable so far? You know the deal. Hit the like button, subscribe button, bell icon. Thank you in advance. Okay, so now let's turn this into something actionable that will really help you start attracting your right kind of clients. So here's my simple 5-step process that I highly recommend that you take some time out from your day and really reflect on. All right, step 1, and this is actually more about you in this step. I want you to identify your interests and your passions. Really start thinking about the things that genuinely interest you or you're very passionate about. The key here is that we want to start doing things that drive us versus things that drain us. Now, for example, let's say that we like gaming and there is an audience for potential homeowners in that gaming community. Then it would behoove us to surround ourselves with those kind of people. Now, this is extremely important that we align ourselves and our interests and our passions with the right kind of people, because it will by default bring us joy in what we do and we'll have a more sustainable long-term run in our businesses. All right, step 2, we got to research the market. We got to look for gaps for underserved areas in the market that we can potentially fill in with our services. This is as easy as going on a Google search and then search for other realtors with your interests and a problem that you've decided to solve. Now, I want you to consider factors like competition, demand, profitability, when looking at these different searches or potentially these different niches. And if you find one where there really isn't too much competition, then hey, guess what? You're golden. You found a blue ocean. By the way, complete side note, I actually did this recently because I was looking for a realtor that specialized in investment properties out in Michigan. Couldn't find one, not one. So this is a quick blue ocean gimme here. If you decide to tackle this niche, drop it in the comments below because I would love to shout you out and also kind of work with you. Anyway, I digress. Step 3, let's talk about testing ideas. Before committing, it would be helpful for us to do some testing to see if there's actually a market for the thing that we have to offer. This is really easy. It's just a matter of pitching this idea to a few people inside of the community that you currently enjoy being in. And if you're getting a good response, then you're onto something. Which leads to step number 4, it's validating the niche or validating the idea or the community or the concept. Now, once we've identified this potential niche, we need to do a little bit more research to validate that this is actually viable and that there is an actual demand for this service. And this really involves committing to, in all honesty, creating content to solve this problem for this community. Reasonably, maybe create content to post consistently for 30 days and then track the responses. So actually, funny story with this one, we have a client that specializes in techies in San Francisco. That is her niche. She is a top producer and we really helped her position herself as the go-to guru for this niche. Now, interesting part about the story, we didn't actually know that this niche existed, but it turns out it did because we did some testing and we created some marketing and we ran it for about 90 days and we got some really solid results. And because of that, we went all in. So moral of the story here is you have to test. And you have to collect data. But once you have it, then you will know either if it is a thumbs up, go in the right direction, or maybe thumbs down, think of something else. Which brings us to step 5, specialize and focus. Now, once we've identified and validated an underserviced community with a viable problem that we can solve, it's important to specialize and focus on helping that community. And this really involves learning as much as you can about their problems and their frustrations, and then building a strong enough brand that revolves around solving those problems or dealing with those frustrations. And then lastly, developing what's called a unique selling proposition or a USP that sets you apart from the competition that really solves that problem. Anyway, we gem on a lot more about this inside of our free Facebook group. Leave it in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this one here. Bye now.